Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to this very special edition of the Main Event Talk. My name is Furman Torres, aka the Main Event Player. Right now, as you can tell, the Main Event is sporting some brand new shades. And as you can tell, the angle of the camera is kind of lowered down, so you kind of see where I'm at right now. So it's all good. So, guys, welcome to this edition of the Main Event Talk. I am the Main Event, and usually this would be the time for me to do my crazy little rants. It'd be normally the crazy time to, mention a lot of things about what's going on in professional wrestling. And in this case, this one's a little bit of a different vibe, a little bit of a different story, because as you guys probably have already known, if you guys had a chance to watch Monday Night Raw this past Monday, it was a great 3-hour show. Everything building up to Night of Champions, from John Cena versus CM Punk for the WWE Championship, from Sheamus to Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship, tag team titles will be on the line, Intercontinental Championship is also on the line. Everything is going to happen this Sunday at Night of Champions. But the one we're going to discuss and talk about is an individual that you guys all know quite well. You've seen it on Facebook, you've seen it on Twitter, you've seen it all over the world. You probably remember watching Raw during the tag match with the Primetime Players taking on the unlikely team of Daniel Bryan and Kane. Now, during that entire match, I was sitting on the couch just watching Raw like everybody else, and then I was looking in the background, and as you can tell, Jerry the King Lawler, who's a commentator for Monday Night Raw, was sitting back there and apparently had collapsed. I was reading through my Twitter, everyone had been saying, what happened to the King, how come the King collapsed and everything else like that. It was a very, very surreal scene, and it, something that nobody ever expected. The King was in a match with Randy Orton. He teamed up with him to go up against CM Punk and Dolph Ziggler. For years, anybody that knows Jerry the King Lawler quite well, I know the fans, and JR knows the King quite well, Michael Cole knows Jerry the King Lawler quite well. This is one of these scenes on Raw, one of these scenes on television where it's like what Michael Cole said. It was not part of the show. It was a surreal moment. It was different. The King was stretchered out. He had apparently collapsed because of a heart attack. And I can honestly tell you now that that was this past Monday. Today's Thursday. Jerry the King Lawler, from what I understand, is recovering very, very nicely. He apparently went through surgery. Last thing I remember, I was reading through a tweet where Michael Cole apparently got a call from the King and said that he's fine. And I'll tell you something, I was on Twitter, and I'll tell you, it just completely blew up. Every time I saw a prayer for Lawler, prayer for Jerry the King Lawler, every single WWE superstar, every single TNA wrestling superstar, every single Ring of Honor superstar, anyone that knew the King was tweeting and saying their prayers and their thoughts to him and everything else like that, and it was amazing that all that happened on Twitter. I did the same thing as well. I showed my respects to the King. I've been a huge fan of the King for a long time. I sort of was a fan of him since 1993 when he first came around, and I remember some of the classic matches that he had, including with Bret the Hitman Hart, and some others, involving Doink the Clown and others back in the WWE days, or F days, if you will. Anybody that remembers the King quite well back in the days, he's held many, many championships. And also, the King had, everybody remembers the infamous moment, the infamous night with Andy Kaufman. And, I was watching it earlier on YouTube. It was, very surreal to watch. It was very cool to watch, me being a wrestling fan, and I know all of you are wrestling fans as well that watched what happened, during the King and stuff. It was great, But nonetheless, Jerry the King Lawler is recovering nicely. We hope to see him back on Monday Night Raw this past week. He may be there, he may not be there, who knows. So on behalf of myself and on behalf of the WWE Universe, on behalf of all the wrestling fans, and to all the celebrities, and to everyone that is watching the Main Event Talk right now, and this goes out to you, Jerry the King Lawler. If you're watching this, I just want to say, I'm glad that you're okay. I'm glad that you're making a speedy recovery. My thoughts and my prayers, all the fans' thoughts and prayers are with you at this moment. You are the king for a reason. I love what you do. You are the king of professional wrestling. You are one of the best commentators, right next to good old JR and right next to Michael Cole. You know, I know that you and Cole have had your battles in recent weeks and everything, but nonetheless, you know, Cole, like all of us, think about you and everything. So my thoughts, my prayers go out to you, Jerry the King Lawler. Hope you make a speedy recovery and hope you return back to Monday Night Raw as soon as possible. A prayer for Lawler. Right now, that's what's trending worldwide right now on Twitter. So guys, this is gonna do it for right now. I'm sorry that this is not a longer edition of the Main Event Talk, but I had to do it simply because of the King, Jerry Lawler. That's what this is about. This is me showing my respect to the King and my respects to all the fans that are thinking about the King right now. So guys, you can follow the King on Twitter, twitter.com/@JerryLawler. You can also, I think he has a Facebook too, so you can probably find him there. So it's tremendous to check out. So with that being said, don't forget to check me out, the Main Event. You can find me on Facebook.com/MainEventPlayer. Find me on Twitter. You can follow me there at Twitter.com/@MainEventPlayer. You can find me on Instagram as well. I got a lot of pics on there as well, including a few pics of Jerry the King Lawler and stuff. So, well, like I said, my thoughts and prayers go out to the King. Glad you're okay. Hope you come back to us. And I'm going to give you, Jerry the King Lawler, the same line I gave everyone else on my Main Event Talk, like I do every time. The greatest line, the most famous line in all of YouTube. And you guys know what it is. You know every line in professional wrestling. Everything from "if you smell," from "and that's the bottom line, 'cause Stone Cold says so," to "the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be," to "what you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you." The only line that everyone on YouTube and everyone across the world wants to know, it goes like this: why? Because I can and I want. Wait a minute. You know something? I think I'll change that up a little bit. Yeah, I always do because I can and I want to. Any questions? Enough said. That's how the line goes. But I think this line should be dedicated to the King right now. To you, Jerry the King Lawler, that's watching this right now. Here's how it goes. Why? Because we can, and you, the King, wants to. Any questions? Enough said! Get well soon, King. Hope to see you on Raw.